Hello everyone, my name is Chintan and I'm co-organizer of GDG Ahmedabad. And on behalf of all team members of GDG Ahmedabad, I am welcoming you for today's event. Hope you are all doing good and safe. So in our last session, which was of about product, how you can implement or convert your ideas into product. So you require to have some ideas, you require to implement some theories, some practical knowledge, and then you require to do some execution on that. So in that session, we have some categories like how you can do some product deliveries. You can also convert in next step will be a design. Another will be a development of your product. Then you can do building all of software. You can do testing and you can do delivery to the customers, your clients. And today's topic is moreover on that uh, last topic, and it is about like onboarding and monetization. So if we talk about if we take an example of Google, they have created an application called Google Teach, and they have launched in India only. But later on, when they have found that it has grown to millions people, they have also now converted to the Google Pay now, and they have published this application to all over the world. So what they have strategies they have followed, like they have first examined the market, what are the main requirement of the people, where they are facing some problems, like paying gas bill, paying light bills, transferring money online, creating a wallet. So such kind of facilities they have first examined, and then they have implemented that idea into the product and they have launched that. So such kind of flow they have to follow, and success of product matters a lot on this point only. So today's our speaker is Subham Panchori. He is working as a product manager in Shipmnts, and uh, what he is doing is like gathering requirements from the client, arranging and prioritize them for the products, then architect the solution with their intelligent team, and then execute and then delivery. He is also an organizer of Product Tank in Ahmedabad. He has recently started a community is for product people, and by product people and for product people. So, uh, hello Subham.
Hi. Hello.
So,
Hello, everyone.
so Subham, how you are going to start for today's topic? Like in last event, we have covered some of the topic in how you can convert your ideas in a product. So if you can give some abstract, like what we have covered in last event, so that and next topic will be what?
Great. So, last event was all about. If you can have the screen, I can show from the screen, from the slide itself. So I'll be able to
Definitely.
give them a brief about what we covered last.
Shall I add?
Yeah. Please share it. Yeah. So, guys, when we met on the last Saturday, we were discussing about three steps in the product building, the whole phase of converting ideas into product. We talked about shape, we talked about bet, we talked about build. Shape was all about how you sharpen up the ideas, how you discuss more about the problems, because ideas are solution, and they are solution to problems. So how do you build better story around your ideas? How do you find better hypothesis to your problems? How do you come to a better solution? How do you make a rough solution? And then out of all the ideas you have, all the solutions you have on the table, how do you prioritize and bet on one of the ideas for next couple of days, next couple of weeks, next couple of months? And then once you have taken that bet, how do you start the building process? How do you do the design as an inclusive thing with designers, product managers, and engineers involved in one inclusive process? How do you make sure that your sprints are not going out of context, like they are not going beyond a certain fixed time frame? So that was all about shape, bat, build, and we also discovered one three set of interesting equation, which I love to call sexo equation. Thanks to Dhrumil Bhai, he came up with the word sexo. It's a good acronym to remember the three equations in a very concise way. So we discussed two equations out of it, which were how you define customer success. So customer success is something which is addition of customer experience and outcome. We discussed everything about customer outcome, and today we will be discussing more on customer experience, and we will be decoding the third equation in the series. So that is the brief summary of the last talk we had. We can directly jump into now today's learning agenda.
Perfect, Subham. Then over to you. You can let's start with this current topic.
Correct, correct. So, hello everyone. I guess you have got a good idea about what shaping ideas into product series is all about. If you haven't checked out the last stream, do check it out on YouTube channel of GTG Ahmedabad. Without any further ado, let's have the agenda for today. What we are going to learn. So we are going to learn that how do you launch the product. Product is now ready. Product is ready to be delivered to customers, but it should go out with a bang. It should not go out in a very stealth manner. किसी को पता ही नहीं चला product release हो गया, कुछ नया आया and people are not able to use it. Second thing we will learn today is how do you make customers successful, because that is the crux of it. You are making that product, you are solving that problem ultimately to make your customers successful, because customers, when they become successful, they make your business successful. So we'll be talking about that. We'll talking about how do you make people feel wow when they are getting onboarded onto your product or a new feature you have launched in your product. How do you make them feel wow? Okay, it's an amazing experience. It's a mind-blowing experience when they're using your new product or new enhancements or new features we have recently launched in your product. And obviously, without money, without kuka, without rupee, पैसे के बिना कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता. So obviously, the most important part is to keep building great products. You need to monetize your innovation, and it is, trust me, it is the most challenging part of the problem. Solving problems is easy. Asking money for it is hard. So we will be covering that as the last part of today's talk. So let's get into the Sexo equation. We will be talking about how we can decode the CX, customer experience part, using the two variables. We will be talking about that today, and how once the product is in hand of customers, when he is unboxing your product or he is using your product, how you can make him feel special, you can make him feel better and odd about your product. And then obviously, if you're creating value, how do you ask him to give you money? How do you capture the value you are creating for the customer? So, okay, let's talk about launch now. We are going to talk about launch and monetize. First into it is launch. So, as I said, it should create a wow effect in your user's mind. If they start using your product, they should feel wowed. They should see the difference which it is making into their life. But unfortunately, hota kya hai? Before launch, all the product managers, all the product engineers are obviously in the state of mind. अरे यार धक धक हो रहा है, अरे यार कुछ फट गया तो, कोड फट गया तो. All of these are the questions and mindset in a pre-launch team, in a pre-launch phase. And once the product is launched, obviously if it's a B2B company, you will get a lot of support calls if you're not doing it right. You will have pissed off customers. Baba ye kyun change kar diya हमसे पूछे बिना. And if you are in B2C category, you will suddenly see a rise in customer chat supports. You will suddenly see a rise in customer support tickets. So that is something which is a mindset of a post-launch phase. And why does that happen? Why is it so that we are always nervous when we are releasing the product, when we are launching the product? Why can't we do it with SAG? Why can't we do it with confidence? And why always customers feel unsatisfied, or most of the time they feel unsatisfied or they get pissed off? Why is that so? Because there is always a gap between the customer's use of product and your product capabilities. Why? Because they are not knowing the full capability of the product. They are not able to explore it on their own, and somewhere your launch strategy, your building the product experience strategy and the onboarding strategy is not working properly. And that's what we are trying to nail today. So in order to make sure that the product, the kick-ass product you have built to solve a particular problem, the idea which you had, how do you make the how do you make the launch of that idea of that product successful? It's very simple. What you have to do is you have to do very simple things. You have to form customer success metrics, you have to form transaction based metrics, and you need tools for it. So what is it exactly? So customer success metrics is defined by the first equation which we discussed. Customer success is equal to customer experience plus customer outcome. And that customer outcome is the most important thing. For example, if you are buying a product, let's say if you're buying Swiggy Prime, or if you are buying Amazon Prime, it is very important that the outcome was, I will get the Prime delivery for free. Swiggy Prime, the outcome was, I will get no delivery charges, or I will get discounts on specific restaurants. This should be visible, and the evaluation, that how much did I save. So if I am buying Amazon Prime, Amazon is able to show me that how much I have saved on each delivery. That helps me feel the success. Customer is able to feel the success. So you have to define that matrix. Then only you can build it in your product. The next thing is, you need to have some transaction based metrics. Now, what is that? Let's take an example. For Swiggy, it would be the number of orders, or number of grocery orders, for like they have launched recently grocery division also, and a Genie product also. For them, it is the number of orders being placed. For a digital payment gateway, it is all about number of transactions being done each and every day. So every time you are launching a new enhancement in your product, it's important that you have customer outcome based metrics, but you should also have a product or a traditional transaction based metrics, which you can see that how many number of transaction increased once you have released that feature. Are there any transactions which are remaining incomplete? Let's say you build new digital payment integration in your e-commerce product, and suddenly the transactions are failing, the checkout process is not working. That means transactions are getting incomplete. So this will help you understand that if there is a decrease in the number of transactions happening in your product, that means the launch is not working out. It was supposed to increase the number of transactions happening. It was supposed to increase the number of users logging into your product. That you need to define it. It will change according to the product you are building, according to the problem you are solving. This matrix will keep on changing, but the fundamental remains the same. And obviously once you have these metrics, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आप manually calculate कर सकते हैं हाथों पे, ठीक है? You cannot calculate on your hands, is it working out or not. So you need tools for it. What are the tools available in market? So there are a lot of data analytics tools available which you can integrate into your product. Google Analytics is there. Lot of new products have come into picture, wherein you can integrate them to record screens. You can integrate customer chat support things into your product. You can use intercom. You can use a couple of products are there, and which I will be happy to share after the session with everyone as a reference, so that they can also use these tools. Once you have planned your launch strategy, once you have figured out that what are the metrics, what are the customer success metrics and customer based outcome metrics, it is very important that you build that metrics. The value of that metric should be visible within your product. Now, what do I mean by that? Just to quickly recap, this is the equation I'm talking about. Customer success is equal to customer experience plus customer outcome. And what I'm trying to talk about is, how do you show that customer outcome? How do you show that value being created within the product? आपको जाके बताने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए कि मैंने क्या वैल्यू क्रिएट करी या मेरा प्रोडक्ट आपके लिए क्या वैल्यू क्रिएट कर सकता है. It should be quite visible in your product. And that is what few of the products I use daily have done it in a very fantastic way. One of them is Swiggy. So Swiggy recently launched something called Genie, which is directly competing with Dunzo. And Genie is a product which allows you to get anything delivered or get anything picked up from anywhere. And they are doing a fantastic job in defining the outcomes. So one of the outcomes they have defined is, are you out of sabji? And the sabji store you are looking out for is not there in the grocery list we are showing, the grocery stores we are showing. No problem. Go into the app, just search the name of the store you frequently buy from, select the pinpoint location, and start adding the things you want to buy. Start adding images of the product you want to buy, and the Swiggy genie, the Swiggy delivery guy will come and will pick up the things from that store and will deliver it to you. That is something which they have done in a very, I would say, easiest way possible. It is like, in layman terms, everything is visible within the product. The second thing they have done is they also show the savings you are making in each transaction you are doing with them. So if you are using Swiggy Prime, they used to show after each order that what's the cumulative amount of savings you have done on delivery charges. That is also a great trick. Similarly, I use Big Basket a lot, and in lockdown they have been a savior. They have been delivering uh, grocery safely to all the people who are in lockdown and all the bachelors. One of the important features in their product is BB Star membership, and again, it's a feature which actually tells me while using the product that I have bought BB Star membership for X amount of money, and it makes me realize every time when I'm using the product what is the benefit I'm getting out of it. So I'm able to see how many cashbacks I have received because of this membership program, how many times I have not been charged any delivery fees, how many times I'm getting a premium delivery slot. Let's say I'm a bachelor and I cannot afford to take deliveries between 10 to 9:30 to 9:30 to 8 p.m. in evening. They have created this whole experience to make sure that we can get a premium slot of 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And it is showing that is because you have bought BB Star, you are able to avail it. So this is what I mean by showing customer outcome within the product. This makes the customer feel that they are getting successful when they're using your product. The motive they had behind using the product is getting fulfilled. The third point in successfully launching products and making customers successful is when you launch the product and you have a new feature in your product, it is very important to know, to let the users know that how they can use your product. And that is what we call onboarding. And it works in a different way for different segment of products. For B2B, there are different strategy. For B2C, there is a different strategy. So let's try to look into how you can do onboardings in a kick-ass way. So let's look at the last of Sexo equation, the third equation in the Sexo equation set. It is customer experience is equal to onboarding experience into product experience. Now you have already built your product experience. You have made sure that within the product the customer outcomes are already there. But if nobody will tell them how to use that experience, if nobody will onboard them for how to use that product experience, it will go, everything will go for a toss. Because onboarding experience is is a multiplier to your product experience. It will, if you are doing it right, customer will feel wowed by that experience. If you are doing it wrong, even when your product experience is very good, they will not feel wowed about it because they are not knowing how to use the product. So how do you create a kick-ass onboarding strategy? How do you do it? The first thing is, how do you inform your users that you are releasing something new? And that is where superstar release notes come into picture. And this is an article I read quite a long back, that Jeff Bezos, when he started, he made sure and he told all his product team members that you have to write the release note as if you are doing a PR campaign or a press release note, and you are doing a media conference and you are telling people about this new product, or you are writing a one-page advertisement in the first page of any of the famous newspapers. And that is how you make sure that within limited amount of words, how do you make the users feel excited about the new thing or the new feature you are releasing, so that they update the product. See, whenever you release new things, some things are hot fixes, they get automatically updated. But whenever you release a new version of your product, there is a explicit action user has to do: update now. And that is where superstar release notes play a role. After reading them, they should feel compelled enough to update the app. And probably if you are launching a new tier of pricing, they should be happy to upgrade into the new pricing tier, looking at the new features. Second thing is, once you have done that release note and they have updated the product, they have updated the version of the product, now it is the time that they should know how to use the product feature which you have released. So product tools and video tools of your product are something which are very important. Now, how product tools and video tools are different, we'll try to cover with example. But the simple strategy is, if you are in B2C, product tools are simple walkthrough of the elements in your product. So it will be step one, step two, step three, step four. It will be a thing which you can do easily by using JavaScript frameworks. There are a lot of onboarding frameworks which are available, which also work with hybrid technologies like Flutter and all. Then there is, if you are in B2B segment, video tools play a very good role, because when you are in B2B product space, your users are not free to read a story. They are part of an enterprise, they are already working, they already have a lot of work. So to make sure that when they are on the new feature and when they are using it, a pop-up should come and it should tell the user within a 5 or 2 minute crisp video that how they can use that feature. And it should not allow them to use the feature until and unless they have watch 2 or 3 videos, which you feel without that they cannot realize the value of product. So let's dive into some examples and we will get to know that how it works. So for superstar product release notes, I want to share one example. A product I am using day in and day out is Coda. Coda is a product which is going to revolutionize how we use Jira, how we use Google Docs. So it's a combination of all Google Docs in one place, Excel, Word Doc, Google Doc, and Jira, in everything in one place. Like, it's a complete project management tool where you can write your documents, where you can build, you can monitor your prints, everything in one place. And when they are releasing their product updates, they have done a wonderful job around like, let's say I have read their product update. I can easily tweet about it, I can share it with other users who are using Coda, and I can create a buzz about it. That's a very good marketing strategy, to let other people know about the new product, the new feature they have launched. And they have also kept something where they can click and learn more about the feature, how to use that feature, and that all comes in the product release notes. That's awesome, because you are making sure within the release note that you are keeping a link or a trigger or a diversion from which people can go and learn more about your product and talk more about the new features in your product. The second two things which I was talking about was product tour and video tour. Again, I want to take example of products I use on daily basis. One is Coda, and another one is Team Gantt, again a project management tool. Coda has made a mix of video as well as product tools. Video, because some parts of their product features are complex and need some video understanding, some way by which you can learn the concept in a better way via video rather than a blog or a post. And they've also built a community where people can talk about the new product release, where people can ask each other that how to use this product, how I can go about using this particular feature in the new version. The second example I have is of a Team Gantt, which is doing a wonderful job. So when you log in into their product and you are building one first project plan, or you are building first Gantt plan on how the timelines will look like, they will not allow you to do that. They will say, watch these 2 or 3 very good videos, short videos, to make you a ninja in using our product. So they're making me feel that I will see this video and I will become a beginner or a ninja if I convert if I complete all these videos, and I will be able to use the product to its full extent. So they are making sure that the resources which are required to use the product are easily available to user, and the gap which I was talking about, what are the capabilities in your product and what user is able to understand, they are trying to reduce that gap, and hence they are making the customers successful, hence they are making their launch successful. So guys, congratulations, you have finished first unit of today, which is launching products. We have just learned that how you can build a very good launch strategy. We have decoded all sexo equations, and we have also learned how we can onboard our users as a boss. So let's talk about money now. Paisa hi paisa hoga. Because everything is done and dusted now, right? You have built, you had an idea, you shaped it up, You have taken a bet on building that idea. You have developed and launched the idea now. The product is out there. Now you need to make money out of it, because everything at the end is all about money. पैसे के बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता. So how do you monetize? Again, there are three fundamental concepts which we will try to cover. First is what, who, how, and why of monetization. So let's try to understand it with a very simple diagram. What is what, who, how, and why of the revenue or the monetization model. So what? Let's talk about what. What is value proposition? The customer outcomes, or the value each feature of your product will create for your user. Who is the target customers you have? The customers who will hire your product. Uh, as I said, we learned about jobs to be done theory in the last session, and that is where the value proposition comes in. The job for which the product is getting hired for is the value proposition. If you do the job right, you have created enough value. How do you produce more and more value is how do you provide that experience within the product. It's all about that. And the most important part is profit mechanism. Now once you have created value, you have the value proposition, you are offering that value within your product, and you are keeping the chain going on. You are building new and new features to make sure that new value is getting created again and again. It is very important that how do you think about capturing that value. This is the why section. How do you generate the value you have already generated for your customer? How do you capture that value? How do you convince them to pay you for the value you have created for them? So that's where comes the part of learning revenue models. पैसा कैसे आएगा? तो स्कीम क्या है? स्कीम बतानी पड़ेगी ना सबको, चिल्ला चिल्ला के हमको स्कीम बतानी पड़ेगी कि हाउ डू यू कैप्चर वैल्यू. एंड दैट इज वेयर revenue model frameworks come into the picture. How do you build successful revenue models? How companies like Netflix, Microsoft, Google, Slack, how they have implemented different revenue models, and they are capturing value through these revenue models. Let's talk about it. So we will talk about three revenue models today. There are a lot of other revenue and pricing and monetization models, whatever you want to call. But I personally have in-depth experience of being in these three monetization models. I have tried to implement at least three of them, and I have some experience of building some strategies around this. So subscription based is one of the most frequent one used in the present scenario. You build once, you have built the product once. Netflix was built once. You keep on adding new features to it, but it was built once, and enhancements are coming in a loop, but the revenue is continuous. You are paying them every month. You're paying them again and again, every month, every year, every quarter. It's a stable source of revenue. The second is where the revolution happened. Subscription based was a thing which was already existing. Transactional or pay as you go model is something which AWS and Google Cloud have innovated on, and then the whole API economy came into the picture. So what is pay as you go model? So I guess engineers out here, the engineering managers out here will know it very clearly that how Google is charging them, how GCP is charging them, how AWS is charging them. They are charging you per minute or per time, or the amount of data you will use, or amount of data you will store, amount of compute power you will use. It is all how much you used in that particular month, or in that particular period. And there is a fixed rate for each unit. There is a fixed rate for each unit you use, and for whatever time you use, you are being charged for that time, or for that number of units you are using. So that is a revolutionary strategy, because now you are not getting one fixed amount. You are getting, for each transaction user is doing on your platform, you are getting money for it. That's the best place to be in. That's the most profitable business to be in. That's how you make the most profitable products out there. And the other strategy is freemium model. Now, freemium doesn't mean मैं सब कुछ free में दे रहा हूँ. Freemium means uh, I am investing in giving some features out for free, so that a lot of people join them. So Slack does it. Slack is doing it. LinkedIn is doing it. We don't pay LinkedIn anything to use the base features. Also, again, we don't pay Slack anything, for using the base features of chatting with each other, sharing Google Docs, and sharing all our work related stuff on Slack. What we pay them for is if we have higher needs, if we want to do recruitment on LinkedIn, or if we want to get hired on LinkedIn, that is where we are paying them premium. So they have always premium offerings where a fraction of the users who are part of the freemium model get converted into the premium area. So let's talk about all these models in detail. And subscription model is something which has been, I guess, subscription model is something which is pioneerized and which is like crazily used by Netflix, Amazon Prime, and there are a lot of other companies which are doing it. A lot of companies are doing subscription model where per month, per user, you pay X amount and you use features. So it is all about customer makes periodic payment for continued delivery of value. Now it is very important. What does continued delivery of value mean? So imagine I am paying Prime 999 rupees. Now each year Amazon Prime is adding something to the base feature. So सबसे पहले जब उन्होंने start किया था, so what they have done is they have added Amazon Prime Music, Amazon Prime Video. Now they are also offering at some X addition to that amount. So 999 plus X. If you pay, you will also get unlimited Kindle access. So each year they are giving continued delivery of value. वो कुछ ना कुछ नया add कर रहे हैं and they are making me buy the product again. Same goes for Netflix. So Netflix का आप subscription लेते हैं, right? You buy Netflix subscription. Now Netflix knows what kind of shows you like, and then if you multiply it with the number of people who are in on Netflix, they know what is the watching pattern, what kind of watching experience people like, and basis on that, they are selecting which shows to produce, which scripts to back. That is their strategy. So that is how subscription model works, and why people should go into subscription model, and when they should why they should go is it's a stable and recurring source of revenue. It is not like कि अगर आज की डेट में, so for example जैसे अभी लॉकडाउन हुआ, right, and Uber, Ola and all delivery apps, when there was complete lockdown, there was zero revenue they were doing because there was zero transactions happening on their product. But Netflix, YouTube Premium, all सब्सक्रिप्शन बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट जहां पे ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई ट्रांजेक्शन होना बंद हो गया और पैसा आना बंद हो गया, वो सारे सिचुएशंस में अगर यू वांट टू मेक योर बिजनेस फुल प्रूफ एंड यू वांट अ रिकरिंग इनकम टू ऑलवेज कम फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट, that is where you go for a subscription based model. Again, you go for a subscription based model when you get to know a lot of new insights about the user, how they are using your product each time they are completing a transaction. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I'm getting one thing delivered from Amazon. I'm getting a book delivered from Amazon. I am ordering some book. I'm ordering some gadgets. I'm ordering some grocery or pantry related stuff. Whenever I order, they are getting my buying pattern, right? They know how many deliveries I am taking, and then in next year, if they can offer me a discount. That is where they have more insights to deliver me value. They can give me discount on certain products. Similarly, for Netflix, they're not giving discount, but they are giving me more content basis on whatever data they collected from each transaction, each video I have seen, each series I have binge watched. They are getting to know what content is working out in the users, what content is keeping the users logged in into the product, and hence they can deliver more value and they can keep the user within the subscription framework again and again. The user will keep on paying the money every month, every year. And again, once a user is using a subscription based model, आपने 2 महीना 3 महीना 4 महीना ऐसे करते करते 2 साल तक उसको पैसा दे दिया है, and then suddenly there is a new thing which comes up, people have not switched out. Like for example, when Amazon Prime came in or Hotstar came in, people have not logged out of Netflix because मेरा पूरा watching history चला जाएगा, मेरा पूरा recommendation चला जाएगा. People are not switching off. They are again buying the competition product also. So if there is highly competitive market, subscription based model makes sure that people are not switching off easily from one competitor to other. For example, let's say I'm using G Suite. If I'm making an investment of I'm paying every month 50,000 rupees, and suddenly Microsoft Office 365 sales guy comes in and he says that you should use this, I will think twice about making that investment, because I've already paid X amount of money. I have already got X amount of features delivered in G Suite. If I'm an enterprise company directly dealing with G Suite, or if I'm enterprise company using a B2B product, it becomes difficult to switch out. Hence, subscription models are very stable ones. They are very less risk, or I would say moderate risk models. And that is, if you have these, if you want all these things, you should implement subscription model. Is it right for us? Is Other question you need to answer is this model going to work out for your product? So you have to answer very simple two questions. One is your product being used continuously? Is your user logging in your product every day, every month, every hour, and is he using it continuously? If yes, then subscription based models work very in a very fantastic way, because you know that they are using the product again and again, and they are getting the value of their money. Second is your customer happy to pay in chunks? I am very sure that all customers are happy to pay in chunks rather than paying. Let's say I go and I tell I tell a B2B customer, you have to pay 40 lakh rupiah for this software. They will say, oh God, I cannot make this investment upfront. Office 365, if they go and tell a customer that pay us upfront for 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, people will not be able to have that kind of a budget or upfront money to invest into a product. But they will be happy to do quarterly or monthly or 6 monthly or yearly subscriptions based on the budgets and based on the company strategies they have. So if the questions to both these if the answer to the both the questions if is yes, then subscription model is a good to go thing for your product, and you should absolutely go for a subscription based model. Let's talk about the most innovative and most profitable the revenue model, monetization model out there. It is customer pays for each transaction, pay as you go model. Customer is paying for each transaction or value of unit you are delivering. What is it? Let's try to identify what is the value of unit Amazon Web Service is giving you or Google Cloud is giving you. Each minute you are using their compute engine, each minute the Lambda function is getting called on Amazon, or a cloud function is getting called on Google Cloud. Each minute, each time you are storing MBs of data in their storage offerings. That is the value they are delivering you, and you are paying them for that value again and again. Whenever you are doing that transaction, or whenever you are storing that particular unit in their systems, in their product, you are paying for it. You're going getting billed for it. Now, why pay as you go model works, and what do you need to do to make it work? So it is very innovative kind of pricing. You have to define what is the unit or transaction of your product. You have to let them know that you have to think and identify कि एक transaction क्या है या एक unit क्या है, and it takes time. If you are building, let's say, a OCR product which reads information out of images, you need to know how many pages a customer will process. Can I charge him per page basis or not? If I can make a model where I can charge for each document he will process. So you have to identify that unit, whether it will be document, whether it will be page. Similarly, when you are making a digital payment gateway, you have to identify that will you charge them percentage of the transaction. Like मैंने 10,000 का transaction किया, उसमें मैं 1% मांगू, या should I ask for a fixed price for all transactions you do? So when I'm doing a NEFT or RTGS, should I ask my user only 5 rupees fixed price for each transaction he does, or should I ask a percentage of the transaction? ये इसमें बहुत innovate करना पड़ता है, इसमें बहुत survey करना पड़ता है. You have to ask a lot of hard questions to your customers. Probably you have to test also some strategies, and with failure you will learn that what is working out and what is not. And this, I will not call it failure, I will call it experimentation. And obviously, when you have identified the transaction, you should know whether you are delivering enough value or not. You have to make sure that you deliver enough value for which you can charge your customer. So GCP and Amazon, they're providing me enough value. I, at no cost of buying a supercomputer, I can actually use a supercomputer power with their servers, right? So they are delivering enough value to me. Hence, I am happy to pay them per hour basis of the compute I use on their compute engines, right? And as I said, it's a highly recurring source of revenue, so you need to know whether there will be high frequency of transactions in your whether there will be high frequency of transactions or not. That you have to identify. So this is how pay as you go model works. And again, just like I explained for subscription based model, that whether you should go for it or not, for pay as you go model, you have to ask yourself again the question: each unit is valuable enough or not. You have to do surveys with your customers. If they say yes, then you have to define the value. You have to check whether there is high frequency of daily transactions or not, how many times the transactions are happening, and whether you will be profitable or not if you charge them per transaction basis. And for doing that, you need to know कि आपका प्रोडक्ट आपने बनाया है और आपके प्रोडक्ट पे हर एक ट्रांजेक्शन होता है, तो उसकी कॉस्ट क्या होगी. For example, let's think about it in a very good way. Make my trip. Okay, they charge you for each transaction you do on them, right? They charge you a conveyance fee. How they have come to a figure of 275? They have broken down their cost at each transaction. The transaction is booking a ticket on them or booking a hotel on them. So they already have broken down their cost of building the product, running the product, onboarding new hotels on the platform, and all of that they have accounted for. All the marketing budgets they have accounted for, and then they have come down to a cost at each transaction level, which is booking a hotel or booking a seat on a plane. And basis on that cost, they are deciding what we should charge the customer. These three things, if you are able to do and you have answers to all these three questions, you're good to go for a pay as you go model. You can opt in for it, and trust me, this is the most profitable and most highly growing model in the API economy, where people are building products which don't have any front end, but they have just APIs, and you integrate the API and you are getting charged for each API call being made. That's how new tech products are working as well. Now, the next model I want to talk about is freemium model, and this is the I would say freemium model is a model which allows you to land and expand, and it is the best model which actually also takes care of marketing. तो बाकी सारे जो मॉडल्स हैं उसमें आपको प्रोडक्ट की मार्केटिंग करनी पड़ेगी. Make My Trips does a lot of marketing. They hire Ranveer Kapoor, they hire Alia Bhatt to do their ads, and that is also cost again. And even in the subscription based model, you are doing a lot of ads. Netflix is putting up so many things that they're putting so much money into their marketing campaigns, right? But when you have a freemium model, you don't need actually marketing strategy, because your product is selling itself. The product is a marketing strategy itself. Free hai, people will use it, and once people start using it, they will talk about the product, and that is how your product is getting marketed. So it is all about how you land. You give customer a base part of your product freely, and how do you easily expand, like how do you start cross selling or upselling new features to them. Like for example, if I will make some changes in my profile, and if I say I'm looking out for opportunities, the very next day I will start getting targeted ads or targeted emails from LinkedIn saying buy recruiter, or buy LinkedIn premium, and you will be more discoverable. You can be discovered more by the HR people, by the talent acquisition people on LinkedIn. If I am posting job as a company, the very next day I will start getting targeted ads or targeted emails from LinkedIn saying buy recruiter plus, and you can see the best profiles out there in on LinkedIn. So it is land and expand strategy. And this is where, when you are giving things for free, you are attracting a huge you are attracting a huge customer base who will use the free core features. They will create the buzz about the product, and that's how the later fraction, the small part of that fraction of these users will pay for the premium features which are available in that particular app. So for example, Slack. What does Slack do? If I have crossed 10,000 messages and I want to see all the historical messages, that's when they are asking for money. Now, if I really need, if I really need to see what I was talking 2 months back or 3 months back, I will pay that money. I will have to, right? So that is the premium. Whenever you have need, you are paying for it. If you are not having that need, if you are not going to have 10,000 messages or beyond that, it is for free. You use it for free. And as I said, when you are giving things for free, your users are your marketing channels. I don't know how many of you have used Slack because Slack reached out to you, or you saw a Slack ad. You have Everyone who started using Slack was always about, they heard it from someone, or they started using it because the company was using it, and it was always free. I have not seen in India, I guess successful startups may be paying it, but early stage companies are not paying for Slack, and they are not going premium. It's a good marketing channel. People talk about the product, people onboard new users, and that's how the wheel keeps on churning. And whenever people have need for the premium features, they buy LinkedIn premium, they buy Slack premium features, and that's how the freemium model works. So that's about the freemium model, how freemium model works, and how you can use freemium model as a pricing strategy. Now पैसा आ गया है, ठीक है, रेवेन्यू आने लगा, revenue constant हो गया है. Now how do I increase, how do I, let's say I am at a plateau. पहले ऐसे 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 गाड़ी चल रही थी, now I am at a plateau, now the revenue is stagnant at one single point. How do I multiply it? तो मेरा आंसर मंगलयान की तरह ये नहीं होना चाहिए, करेंगे, पता नहीं कैसे करेंगे, पर करेंगे. द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज not, it should not be like this. For product managers, it should be very clear that how will you multiply that revenue, and that's where bundling as a concept comes in. Like, how do you apply this concept over revenue models? That's where bundling plays a good role. So let me explain bundling to you in a very simple way. Buffet and a la carte. Okay. Buffet is when you have bhook for everything. You are janmo janmantar ke bhooke hai aap, and that's when you go for a buffet breakfast, right? And if you are not in a mood and you want just specific thing to eat, right? You want to eat just Chinese food, or you just want to have quick salad, right? You will not go for a buffet. You will go for a la carte. Similarly, bundling is a concept where people who love to buy all the products together, they can buy all your products together. Like, what you have to do is you divide your product into micro products. That is what all restaurants do. They have divided the whole menu into micro products they are offering, the dishes they are offering, and in buffet they are offering it together. So similarly, if you can break down your product into smaller chunks of product, and you can offer all of them together in one bundle, and you can offer them individually. बंडल में आप यूजर को फील करा सकते हो कि डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, थोड़ा प्राइस कम होगा, but ultimately is paying almost the similar value, and you are increasing the revenue. We will look into the maths of it, how it actually works. And obviously, if he is buying individually, you can price the individual products at a higher price point, and he will happily pay because he only wants to use that product. He doesn't want to use all the products. So when he will combine, when he will see buffet ka price, and he will see individual ka price उसे हमेशा कम लगेगा. If he is only trying to buy one single product, or he's only having the need to eat only one dish, right? Nobody will pay 800 rupees for a buffet, vis-a-vis 250 rupees for a dish, right? That's the same strategy you have. Now, when to bundle? कितने प्रतिशत यूजर्स भारतीय की जगह यूजर्स कर लेते हैं, कितने प्रतिशत भारतीय या कितने प्रतिशत यूजर्स चाहते हैं कि बंडल में बेचा जाए प्रोडक्ट को? How do you do this? So it's a simple statistical game, it's a simple mathematical game. What you have to do is you have to do some study of your product, how it is working right now, what is your customer segment. So let's do a very simple analysis. We eat out a lot, right? And we see a lot of these joints like Domino's, Pizza Hut, uh, Burger King, all of them have combo offers, right? How do they come to these offerings, right? So they do analysis that what is the customer segment. So let's say they have 4 segments. One segment prefers to eat pizza, and one segment likes garlic breadsticks, which are the signature thing of Domino's, right? So somebody is ready to pay $9 for a pizza, and somebody is ready to pay, one segment of user is ready to pay $9 for a breadstick. Now, what will you do? What will be the bundling thing, and what will be the easiest revenue making thing? So let's try to analyze that. फर्स्ट थिंग विच विल कम टू एनीबॉडीज माइंड इज, जिन लोगों को पिज्जा पसंद है उसका एक लोअर वैल्यू ले लो. तो देर आर टू सेगमेंट्स विच लाइक ईटिंग पिज्जा. उनको हम खाली पिज्जा खिलाएंगे, उनको हम ब्रेड स्टिक नहीं देंगे, और उनको हम लोअर प्राइस पॉइंट पे $9 वालों को भी $8 में दे देंगे, so that they feel कि हाँ हमको डिस्काउंट मिल रहा है. And you sell them only one thing. You are not asking them to buy the other thing. The second thing, the second innovative model where you can increase the revenue, you can see the values here. अगर आप एक एक चीज ही बेचेंगे, so you are only getting $3,300, right? $3,300 in revenue. But if you are selling a combo, and the very simple thing to do here is you add up all the prices here. You will add all the individual prices. ये सारे prices आपने सर्वे किया है एंड यूजर ने बताया है वो कितना पे करेंगे हर प्रोडक्ट के लिए. आपने एक सर्वे रन किया, आपने दोनों हर सेगमेंट के दोनों प्रोडक्ट का जो प्राइसिंग सेगमेंट ने डिसाइड किया उसे ऐड कर लिया, एंड यू गेट दिस वैल्यू. सो यू गेट $10.5 एंड यू चेक सारे सेगमेंट्स में दोनों प्रोडक्ट की कंबाइंड वैल्यू क्या है, एंड यू टेक अ मिनिमम ऑफ इट. सो आई एम गोइंग टू सेल combo of pizza and garlic breadstick at $10.5, and you can suddenly see the increase in revenue. Can you see the increase in revenue? $800, and there is a $250 ka direct difference in the whole ball game altogether. And if you will add all of this, you have now $4,200. You have $4,200, which is close to $900 ka difference in the total revenue. Now people can get more innovative also in doing this. What they can do is they can offer, they can sell as a mixed bundling. Now what is mixed bundling? ये वाला जो बंदा है ये तो $1.5 ही देना चाहता है ब्रेड स्टिक के लिए, और ये बिल्कुल ही नहीं खाना चाहता है गार्लिक ब्रेड स्टिक. तो इसको कॉम्बो बेचने की क्या जरूरत है, इसको खाली पिज्जा बेचता है. बट बीच के जो दो कैटेगरी वाले लोग हैं उनको दोनों चीजें पसंद है, एंड वो दोनों बाई करने की ताकत रखते हैं. दे विल बी हैप्पी टू पे फॉर बोथ द प्रोडक्ट्स इफ ऑफर्ड इन अ कॉम्बो. सो व्हाट यू विल डू इज you will just add up the prices and for both the products, and you will sell both the product as a combo to them. And again ये वाला बंदा खाली ब्रेड स्टिक के लिए पैसा देना चाहता था तो इसको ब्रेड स्टिक ही खिलाओ, इसको इसको गार्लिक ब्रेड स्टिक ही देते हैं, इसको पिज्जा देने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. So if you see, you have done some statistical and mathematical game here, and you can see that ये वाले मॉडल में मिक्स बंडलिंग जिसमें आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि आप मेरे साथ, let's also take one more comparative example. I am running a tour company, or I'm running a make my trip में tour division, and customer is asking कि मुझे hotels खुद से बुक करनी है, या मुझे टैक्सीज खुद से बुक करनी है टूर में, या मुझे लंच या डिनर नहीं चाहिए. That is mixed bundling. You are saying ये 3 चीजें चाहिए, ये 2 चीजें नहीं चाहिए, ये 2 चीजें चाहिए, ये 1 चीजें नहीं चाहिए. तो you are allowing the user to mix and match. And if you see that if users are mixing and matching, the revenue is at $4,400, which is 11, which is like, you can see the difference, how much difference is there. $1,100 ka total revenue mein difference hai. That's brilliant, right? If you are able to increase by $1,100, 3,300 से $4,400 पे ले आए, you can see that bundling can do wonders. They can increase the revenue by so much factor. Once the users will start increasing in these segments, these revenue figures will start increasing, and this bundling will make sure that your revenue is not coming to a plateau. You are earning more and more from different segments of the customer. So it maximizes the revenue making capability of your product. Now how do you bundle? Bundling के लिए strategy भी तो होना चाहिए. कैसे आप वो strategy बनाएंगे, क्या चीज को बेचना है bundle में, क्या चीज को नहीं बेचना है. So there is a very simple strategy which you should use is painkillers, vitamins and multivitamins. ठीक है. अब painkillers ऐसी चीजें हैं, these are the features in your product for which people will definitely be ready to pay and definitely will be ready to buy that painkiller. विटामिन इज समथिंग अगर पेन किलर के साथ चिपका दोगे तो लोग बाई कर लेंगे. एंड मल्टीविटामिन इज समथिंग शायद चिपकाना थोड़ा मुश्किल पड़ेगा, बट ले सकते हैं अगर उनको जरूरत है. इफ दे वांट प्रीमियम फीचर्स आल्सो, इट इज जस्ट लाइक मस्ट हैव, should have, nice to have. So painkillers are must have, vitamins are should have, and multivitamins are nice to have. So sell painkiller as a base product and allow people to select from the vitamin options. Vitamin wale jo bhi features hai people can add, and they can make their bundle, and they can pay for that bundle together. Allow allowed to also sell multivitamins and vitamins as a la carte, like premium features, like should have features and nice to have features को आप एक product बना के independently भी बेच सकते हो. So what is the example for it in Microsoft 365? Visio. I guess people may have used Visio for making. I guess engineers may have used Visio for making UML diagrams and a lot of other diagram requirements they have. Microsoft Access. These are very specific multivitamins or vitamins. They're not painkillers, they're vitamins. Every company who will go in for a Microsoft Office 365 will not require a Access database product. They will not require a sophisticated diagram tool like Visio, right? So they will not buy it. But there will be companies who are specifically in need of a diagram tool, or they are specifically in need of a database tool. They will buy Microsoft Access, they will buy Microsoft Visio, right? So you should be able to sell these independent product also, because आपको एक दो ऐसे customer मिलेंगे who will pay premium or high price for these independent product as well. So that is trick number 1 for bundling. Trick number 2 for bundling is, how do you make the pricing pitch to your customer in this way? Good, better, and best. So good is always for the customers who are cost sensitive, जिनको पैसे की ज़्यादा पड़ी है, जिनको features, जो लोग बहुत कंजूस है. I would like to call them कंजूस. Who are very not कंजूस. We can use the word frugal also. They are not. They will only pay for the most important features they want in a product, and they don't want the premium or nice to have or should have features. So good will be a product offering of features which are like get covered in a bare minimum cost. Better is for those customers जो trade offers है, जिनको दोनों चाहिए, जिनको पैसा भी कम रखना है और जिनको कुछ कुछ nice have और nice to have and should have वाले features भी चाहिए. तो आप उसका mixture बना सकते हो. आप क्या कर सकते हो कि कुछ premium features आप उनको offer कर सकते हो in a better pricing model, in a better वाला strategy. And best में you can have premium pricing for enterprises, for users who are ready to pay, who are like, who want everything in the product, जिनको पूरा quality चाहिए, जिनको पैसे की नहीं पड़ी है. They are saying that they can pay, they have the capability to pay, they don't want to compromise on the cost. So that is where you have to divide your pricing in 3 categories: good, better, best. Example is starter, मिड साइज बिजनेस एंड एंटरप्राइज बिजनेस. इस तरह से स्ट्रेटेजी होती है फॉर B2B प्रोडक्ट. For other products which are having subscription based models, they generally, if it is a B2C product, they try to take good, better, best में. We will give you discounts if you buy for 3 month subscription. If you will buy 4 month subscription, you will get discount. If you will buy 1 year subscription, you will get discount. So this is how you try to make different tiers of pricing: good, better, and best. And you try to keep maximum amount of customers in better category, some amount of customer 10-20% in best, and 30% of your customers will go into good, and that is good. That is really uh, beneficial for your product, because even अगर एक cost sensitive company, if a cost sensitive customer who is hard to convince for paying for your product, अगर वो भी ready हो रहा है for certain amount of money to use a product, then it's a very good success for you. That's how bundling works. And that brings us to the end of today's session. We have just learned how you can do how you can monetize your product, how revenue models work, and how you can sell products in a bundle, how Microsoft Office has been the most successful in doing bundling, and it actually amounts to 30% of the overall profit Microsoft earn today. So that is it from my side. I'll be open to questions now.
Thank you very much, Shubham. I guess let's see if somebody has some questions in comments box. Otherwise, we can also wait for some other person if they have any queries. But before that, if we look to any other person's questions, I have 2 questions from my side.
Yeah.
Okay. I have seen that in community or any events, whenever I meet some people, they have complained like, I have some idea, but I don't have money or I don't have any capital to invest. Like, say for instance, I am a mobile developer, but I require some API development as well. So I request to give this work to any freelancer work or any other my friend, but I cannot make it free of course. But if you think about like creating an application in both platforms, then we request to spend some money. But we have faced that many people like they don't want to spend money to the product, and their idea just get into the mind, not executed. So do you think that a person as a developer can uh, can spend some money, or how can they save money, or how they can uh, be into that stage that they should spend and they should come up with this product into the market?
Okay. So if you're a freelancer and if I've understood your question right, if you're a freelancer and somebody is approaching you for a product development, right? How do you ask your customer that will they pay for it? मतलब पूरा काम कराने के बाद ऐसा ना हो that they are not willing to pay for it or they are not ready to pay the price at which the product gets developed, right? To make sure that this happens at the right stage when they are giving you the project as a freelancer, if you're getting a project, it's very important that you understand their problem first and then do some research on your own that uh, what value it will create for the customer. Agar ye problem solve ke, if I solve this problem by developing this X thing for you, what value it will create, and then ask them immediately will they pay for it or not. Asking the question of will they pay for it or not in the very initial stage is very important, and it should be one of the biggest prioritization techniques also. Let's say if you're a freelancer and you're doing parallel projects, it is very important that you ask all the people who are you are working parallelly on projects with, what is their willingness to pay, and what value it will create for them. If you have answers to that, you can prioritize and you can make sure that you will not end up in a situation where you have developed a product and person is not ready to pay for it for the work you have done.
That's correct. Also, I can add something like whenever, as a developer, might be if you want to create any application or a product, you can also save some of your money, like as our grandfather and fathers are doing, like some of the money for some liquid funds and some of for some assets. So, thinking about a product as your goal, might be you can also save 5% of your salary as some expenses to make your product better. So maybe you can also spend this money to purchase any hosting or any Amazon or Google services, and then you can build some customer base, and then you can make your product very better by purchasing some subscription extra services from them.
So it is basically when you're trying to sell your product, it is very important that you break down your cost. As I said that when you are developing a product, you will always have cost. You will have cost of using technology. You will have cost of having people who are developing that product for you. So it is very important that you balance between the two, that you will be able to recover the cost from the product you have developed, and will you be able to generate that much revenue or not. Otherwise you will end up in a situation where you are not in profit. uh, Startups are working like that. Uber, Ola, Zomato, all these big companies, Swiggy, they might not be in profit and they are getting good amount of investment and they're running on that investment. But if you're starting a company of your own in a very early stage and you're looking at कि मैं बहुत low risk में रहूँ, I should be in a low risk category where I'm not dependent on some X money from some X person. You should always aim that your product should be able to give you enough liquid money which you require to pay the costs you have, employee cost, server cost, and whatever cost you have for development. That you should make sure that your product is able to generate that much revenue.
Definitely. That's right. My second question is like, do you like to refer any blog or website or any book where the experience of a product is explained, like Facebook or Uber, how they have got the idea about polling or having a social media site, and they have implemented that idea into a product, how that executed? Do you have any idea about, like, is there any blog or paper is published where it can be
So
described, you can examine?
yes, there are a lot of good blogs. There are a lot of good events also which happen. So books also are there. So I will share a few books which I read a lot. Like I refer every now and then. One is Inspired. It's a product it's a book from Marty Kagan. Marty Kagan has worked in multiple good companies like HP, Microsoft, big companies, and he has written that how you can build products and how you can build the overall product strategy when you are in an initial stage. There is one more book which I refer for monetizing your innovation. I will share the link with you, and you guys can share it with the all community members here. All these books which I have read, there are few great blogs. One of them is Mind the Product, which actually has a newsletter. There are few more people who you can follow on Twitter. There are a lot of product managers from great companies. Hiten Shah is there, Marty Kagan is there. There are a lot of podcasts also which are there. So Reid Hoffman, CEO of LinkedIn, now an investor in a lot of startups, also does a podcast called Master of Scale. So it is very good podcast which you can listen to. And if you will simply Google and search top 10 podcasts for a product manager or a product designer, you will see one of the best podcasts out there. I don't prefer to do a lot of things parallelly. So right now I'm focused on reading few books and focused on reading few blogs. And once I'm done with them, I will move on to the next thing. But I will definitely share it as part of my deck. I'll put a resource section and I'll share all the resources I refer every now and then for product management and design.
That's great. I will also check it out where I can also learn some more things on that. Uh, in my personal experience, I have also seen that whenever a person or a company is building a product, it might possible that they can't go success in a first go. And there are companies, if product is not running, they are simply dropped or backstep the product and they just de-launch it. So I have also seen that there are many companies like SpaceX where four times failure they are still investigating, and in the fifth go they are successful. So there are many companies who are beyond failures, they want to succeed and they have special goal. And there are many companies who's in the first go, if they fail, they just backstep and just shut down all the products. So what kind of things they just don't look around that their product could be best, and what analysis they are not doing in the first go, and later they are facing such failures.
One important thing is that if you are failing, you need to understand two things. You need to question yourself again with a why. Am I building the right product? Why I am building this and who I am building it for? So if I take SpaceX example, they were very sure that they are building the right product. They were not able to figure out the right way to build the product. They knew that the product is required. From last 10 years, as you can see, last 10 years, USA was not able to launch their own space vehicle to International Space Station. They were relying on Russia and other countries, right? So they knew the need is there and people will pay for it. And people will pay for reusable rockets. They knew that people will heavily pay for it. The only thing was they were not able to build the right product. So they went back again and again and they keep on improving their product because they knew that product will work, people will pay for the product. So they knew the problem was the product is not getting developed in the right way. This is one part. If you figure it out right, this is one reason of failure. The other reason of failure maybe is where you may have done your initial part wrong is people are willing to pay for it or not, or is it a real problem? Agar aapke paas ek problem and if you're not asking enough people, you only ask 4 or 5 people, this is a problem, this is a problem. Let's say I come up and I say I want to build a e-commerce platform for selling X product. That X product can also be sold on Amazon, Flipkart, right? Amazon, Flipkart gives retailers easily interface to sell their product. So why do I need to build a new e-commerce platform for it, right? If I'll build that e-commerce platform, I'm only selling 2 or 3 products. People will not keep on buying that product from my website only. There will be so many other websites from where they can buy. Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, so many other, Snapdeal is also there. So they will have the option of going to those places. That means I didn't do the research right. I'm not solving the right problem. That can be one of the reasons for failure. And how do you correct courses? If you are in a vast industry, you're in a big segment and you have other problems also, you can pivot. You can start solving some other problem in the same category, in the same segment, and you can check and you can do more better research that people will pay for it or not. And the third failure which happens is, problem is also right, people are also willing to pay, but your pricing model was not right. The money you were taking was higher or was lower. If it was higher, people started dropping off from your, let's say instead of 999, the prime fees I pay to Amazon, if they start charging me 2000 rupees or 5000 rupees, I'll not buy prime, because 999 mein, I am able to feel that I am saving that equal amount of money in the free deliveries I am getting, the premium deliveries I am getting. But if they will start charging me 10 times more that cost or 5 times more that cost, people will stop buying that prime product. Similarly, if they will start pricing it low, people will use the product more, but you will not be able to recover your cost, hence you will not be in profit, and you will have the situation where your company or your product will start going off because you don't have enough funds to run that product. So it is important that you also analyze whether your pricing is right, and whether you need to notch it up a little, like you have to increase your price or you have to decrease your price. So these are the three reasons why people like startups and products fail. And if you do course correction right, if you figure out why you are failing and then you take corrective measures, I feel that you can recover from the failures. We have enough examples. SpaceX is there, and a lot of other companies which have pivoted and have been able to generate profit after that.
Definitely, because it would be wise to have a decision 1 month later that what could be the cost, rather than just jumping into the cost like we will charge 500 rupees, but later on after 1 month we will see that our company is in loss, as we have not do much analysis on this part, and now let's increase the fee from 500 rupees to 1000, and now your customer will be unhappy that you suddenly change the price. So it would be wise decision
Yes.
that rather than jumping into the direct price, you simply do research some things, and then you can definitely check for what could be the consequences if the price will be higher or the lower.
And how
That's
you can
correct.
offer
Yep, right.
few more
I guess
small features, and you can add more, like you can add few more features, and from 500 you can jump to 600 or 800, where users also feel, oh, something new has come and I'm
yes,
paying extra for it.
that's correct. Yes. So yeah, it is all about the strategies you can apply on your product, how you can charge your, yeah, charge your customers, not feeling them that you are overcharging, but you are simply asking that what you are paying for, the right price of
Yeah.
your features. Perfect. I guess there are no more questions I for today.
Great, great. So I guess everyone had a great session today. And if you liked what
Yeah.
GDG Ahmedabad is doing in product, I have also started Product Tank Ahmedabad, and where we will be doing more such events in collaboration with all the communities. And obviously, GDG Ahmedabad is a community guru, so we will take their help to reach out to more community people, to reach out to more product people, and we will be doing more such events in future. So do subscribe to our Twitter, do follow us on Twitter, and do follow us on LinkedIn, Product Tank Ahmedabad, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much, Shubham. It is really a nice experience to share your knowledge about how you can implement or how you can execute your idea into a product, and what are the steps you can follow to prepare your product very well, and what are the strategies you need to follow, like analysis your idea before jumping into the development or designs. You can contact other people of your team, like who can also share their ideas about your POC or your idea. Uh, you can also share your individual knowledge for the goals, feature implementation as well. So it is also you have described like revenue model is also a must to have a plan. So before ultimatum goal of any product will be revenue generation, or
Correct.
anything back, right? So it is an essential plan you require to have on paper that after one year of development, the cost is like X amount. So in next 2 to 3 years, how much earning I will get back, or how much things could be in the positive way or negative ways. Such kind of things should be in the on paper, and you have such ideas about. So it is really very nice experience to have on today's sessions. So might be we can
Thank you.
conclude for today. What we will going to do
Yes.
is, Shubham, kindly share your presentation link so that I can also share in YouTube description. And people kindly
Yes.
do subscribe on JD Jamdabad channel so that and next upcoming all the video online events you will get notified. Thank you very much for today. Thank you, Subham, once
Thank,
again.
thank,
Okay,
thanks,
thank you
thanks.
very much. Bye bye.
Bye, bye everyone.